Wait for that. Okay, so we can start this session. So, hello everyone. I welcome you all to the final session of data science. So, in this session, we will talk about bioinformatics research projects. That how you can design your research project using publicly available NGS data and employing T-Bioinfo platform. So, before moving ahead, let's review what we have learned so far. So during this program, we went over Codeomics logic platform to understand different aspects of R and the Python codes. Then we also learned to how we can write these codes to perform various kind of analysis. So we started with how we can upload our data in R, then how we can manipulate that. Next, then we also learn how we can visualize our data in the form of box plot, heat map, scatter plot, etc. Then we also learn how we can perform dimensionality reduction, particularly using principal component analysis and what those data points represent. Subsequently, we learned about how we can perform clustering in R, particularly hierarchical clustering or H clustering. So, in the last sessions, we talk about how we can perform machine learning, particularly supervised machine learning algorithm like random forest or SVM using R and in the Python. Beside, we also learn different, we have gone through advanced data visualization lesson where we learned about different types of how we can plot histogram and how we can plot and manipulate our data. So beside, we learn what is a box plot and what it represents. Then how we can perform log scale transformation on our data. We have also learned this in R as well as in the Python. And what is the impact of this log scale transformation on the data? So how a log scale transformation eventually normalize your data? We can look into, we had already gone through few examples. Then we learned about different types of machine learning techniques, particularly the major two types that we discussed, that is unsupervised and the supervised machine learning. So does any one of you remember what is the major difference between unsupervised machine learning and supervised machine learning?
I think
Okay.
unsupervised it's PCR, and supervised it's another method which we learned last week, this week.
So what is the difference? Can you give me an example of unsupervised machine learning algorithm and one example of supervised machine learning algorithm?
Unsupervised it's PCR, and supervised is random forest.
Yes. So the major difference between unsupervised machine learning that it doesn't require labels of the data, that is classes of the samples. While supervised machine learning first train on a data set which have a labels or the classes. Then after the training a model, then it will predict the labels or the classes of a new unknown data or test data set. So then we also learned about principal component analysis techniques and what it represents and how we can utilize these principal component analysis to understand the pattern of our data. So can any one of you tell me what is the difference between PC1 in comparison to the other PC components?
PC one is usually the biggest component, like most important one, and PC2 usually it's a bit smaller one, and then they sort of go less and less.
Yes. So they explain the max PC1 explain the maximum variance of the data, followed by another other components. Then we also learned how we can perform principal components or PCA using T-Bioinfo server. So then how we can analyze a scatter plot or a PCA plot using these PCA components. So this is the same thing that we have learned, that how we can perform hierarchical clustering. And then we also went through what are the supervised machine learning algorithm, and then what is the difference between the training and the test data. Does any one of you remember how training data is different from the test data set?
Training data has the categories while the test data doesn't.
Yes. So it contains labels or the classes or the categories, while test data lacks that. Once a supervised machine learning model trained on a training data set, then it will predict the labels for the test data set. Then we also learned about different supervised machine learning algorithms like decision tree, random forest. Like then we also went through binary decision tree, random forest, and then we have also performed a demonstration of a random forest algorithm using T-Bioinfo server. Then we also understand about the difference between feature selection and feature extraction techniques. So let me ask few questions. So which of following provide the summary statistics of a data? Sorry. A, scatter plot, B, bar plot, C, box plot, D, histogram. So which of following plot provide this? Yes, it is box plot. So if you remember, a box plot provides upper quartile median value, then lower quartile interquartile value, then it also provides us outliers. So the next question, which of following is supervised machine learning algorithm? A, PCA, B, t-test, C, H clustering, D, random forest.
Random forest.
Yes. So the next question, training and test data set are the vital for the supervised machine learning techniques. Is it true or false?
True. True.
Yes. So the next question, which of following supervised machine learning algorithm is vital for or can be used for feature selection?
Stepwise.
Stepwise LDA and random forest. Yes. So more than one options are true. So next question, dendrogram is the output of following method. A, k-mean clustering, B, t-test, C, principal component analysis, and D, H clustering.
H clustering.
Yes, you are absolutely right. So now let's begin with today's sessions. So let's look at what are...
Excuse me.
Mhm.
Can we write the project with a format in R?
In the format of?
Yes, if we can write a project with R to write it.
Sorry, I am just not getting, I mean, exactly what you are asking. Maybe I'm missing something.
The format
Mhm.
to write a project can be written in R or not.
So Are you talking about the algorithms?
No, no, sorry, Harvey, just the writing.
I don't know. I mean, in our
Okay, it's okay. Please follow your class.
okay, so I mean, we can discuss it later. Like, no, I have no idea about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So let's look at what are the major steps that are important, especially to design a research project. So first of all, sorry, just so first of all, your research project start with a framing a research question or a research problem. So then you go through the next step. Once you have a question or you have a general idea on the topic that you want to work on, then you went through the literature review. Once you have gone through the literature review and you understand what are the major loopholes and how you can address your question, next is collect the raw data that is needed for your to address your research question. So then next you pre-process and process the data for the analysis. Then you perform in-depth analysis to derive a biological significance meaning from the data. So finally, you summarize your result in the form of a research report, or it could be research publication.
Harpreet,
Yes.
yeah, can you go to the previous slide? I have a
Yes.
question in it. So
Mhm.
you said that we need to collect the raw data.
Mhm.
What are the different data tables we require when we work on a problem? For example, if I want to work on breast cancer data,
So
what
I will actually
types?
demonstrate you exactly. If you are interested to, I will even give today. I will give you a kind of example how you can go through and collect your data set, and then how you can process that data. So I will demonstrate at end of the project. Like if you are interested in the breast cancer, if you are interested in studying transcriptomics data, right? So then you
Yes.
have to collect you can collect data from different public repository like geo if you are interested very raw data like from the SRA. So those are the things we will go through that. So practically we will perform the hands-on for that.
Sure. Thank you.
Excuse me, Harpreet.
Yes.
Which is the right number of genes to work
Sorry,
on
right
expression?
num
Well, for if I want to work with the gene expression,
Mhm.
which would be the number of genes I can work?
So it's like if you are going through, transcriptomics data. So there are two or three types of transcripts. If I categorize into the two major categories, that is one is protein coding, another one protein non-coding. So that are but non-coding doesn't mean they doesn't encode anything. It could be long non-coding RNA, right? So those are the transcripts. Right now, if I'm just especially talking about this recent human genome, so there are nearly 60,000 RNA transcripts, out of which nearly 20,000 RNA transcripts belong to the protein coding, and rest nearly 40,000 transcripts that actually belong to the non-coding. So
Okay.
you can analyze depending upon you have whenever you doing the literature review, at that point of time you also learned about whether this particular question is already addressed. If that question is already addressed, then we have to look at what could be what were already the loopholes with those biomarkers, something like that. Then how we can actually fill that lacuna, and eventually we come up with the better signatures. So that so that is was the part of literature review.
excuse me, Harpreet. Breast cancer, I think you have very good information. But with the carcinoma, hepatic carcinoma, is there is too much variability for the results. Do you recommend me to work with hepatic carcinoma?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to work with hepatic carcinoma, but the genes involved in carcinoma are too many genes.
So yes, that's why that is why bioinformatics analysis help us to find out only important genes eventually. That is what, when we talk about that data mining techniques or, statistical methods, that is why they are explored to identify only significant and the important genes.
Haripreet, how do we know that the genes are significant?
Okay, so I will go over that. And that is, there are some statistical tests like statistical t-test, if I'm simply saying, apart from differential gene expression analysis. By running those analysis, you will get p-values, right?
Yes.
So the p-value, based on the p-value, you can first you can filter out important genes, then you can apply different algorithms that we already have shown you, like, random forest and hierarchical clustering. Then you can look at with which set of genes actually this which set of genes performing the best to discriminate those classes of the sample.
Mm-hmm. So that's my question. My question is also the same thing. How this p-value or a t-test can define the genes as the significant genes? So we do this t-test on
Yes.
entire population or on a sample?
No. You have we whenever we perform differential gene expression analysis, you always divide your data set, or to kind of two classes or two different groups. For example, if I'm talking about, like, I have early stage, then I could have a late stage. Similarly, I could have a cancer sample, could be a normal sample. Apart from that, like treated sample with some drug treated sample, or untreated sample. So that is the categories that we can define. Then we can perform these differential gene expression analysis and t-test. And today I will show you how we can perform differential gene expression analysis even using a simple tool that is available at TSEC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So usually a research project start with a general idea. So this idea then goes through the process of refinement as you dig deeper into the problem and try to narrow down the research question and try to find the evidence for the answer that can fill in the gaps to reach a conclusion. So you must be able to frame your research problem, thus identifying a research topic that you are truly interested is the major step. So especially literature review help us to define your exact question or a hypothesis. So to define a problem statement, it is necessary to perform literature review to find a good focus for your study. As you explore the topic, make a note of the hypothesis, questions, and data references that are used in different studies. So many important questions in the biomedical domain have led to databases designed to support studies where primary data is available. Next, find the gap in the literature. When you find something interesting and feasible and something you can translate into a formal problem statement, that is your topic. Obviously, collecting a raw data or primary data for your research, finding those sources is very important. So let's look at where you can find literature review. Let me just go over some of the platform where if you are interested to find important, you are interested to important data sets as well as how you should proceed for literature review. Let me just take you these resources. So can any one of you tell me which if you are interested to go through the review literature, which repository you will go through? Can you name a repository where you can search literature?
NCBI.
So NCBI is journal. So can you name a particular database? PubMed. Yes, Rudina. So let me just, okay. Let me share my screen again. So whenever you have any, journal research interest, for example, I'm just typing for a liver cancer, right? So how you make a query, you just generally go to, like you can type your search. So the another important thing where you can actually, can go through and create a specific query. For example, if you just click on advanced option, so from this advanced option, you can make your specific query. For example, you are interested in liver cancer, for one important field. Then from here, you can select. So you want to search this particular query in, for example, this word or this particular keyword must be present in title and the abstract. Then the next query. So like liver cancer, what kind of, study that you are interested? For example, you are interested in treatments, drug treatment. So now you can search. I mean, you have already, another thing that you can add might be the biomarker, right? So I'm just creating a journal query. So you can, depending upon your research interest, you can create those queries. So like for using these words, I got this. So I might have set here of some particular criteria. So I can, if I just, instead of drug, I just let me write a treatment. So now I have just used the word treatment, keyword biomarker and the liver cancer. I have removed that drug. So here I have obtained nearly 213 research articles. Then you can actually, what would be the ideal way to go for your literature review? You must go through the review articles, recent review articles that must be published in high impact journals, as well as they should be very recent one. For example, from here we are getting, few, look at this. Here we have come up reduced with the 36 articles. Now you can actually set up some criteria. You are interested publication date like last 1 year, right? So like here we finally reduced with 8 research articles. So now you can go through these articles and exactly understand what is already done. For example, just look at this review, biomarker in hepatocellular carcinoma, current status and future perspectives. So they must have this. So when you are going through the review, so you must make your notes like what is already addressed and what they have discussed that is yet to address and still some of the challenges. Then whether these issues have already addressed or whether they have those some loopholes or still there is something which is yet to address, right? So those are some of the questions that you can ask, and then you can go through the then you can particularly look into the research articles that have tried to address similar questions, maybe not in same disease condition. For example, I'm looking for something that is, for example, I'm interested what are different, I mean, that is immunotherapies are given for the liver cancer patient. For example, I'm still getting like only there are very few immune inhibitors are used, right? So then if they are not already used in our study, so then you can actually look into whether immune inhibitors are also studied in different types of malignancies. So then you can actually find out the methodology from that how you should proceed. This is how you can actually go through the literature review, particularly when you have a new question, completely new questions. For example, I was talking about immune therapy. If you look at, I can go through directly this review: immune checkpoint blockade therapy for hepatocellular carcinoma, clinical challenges and considerations. So some of the important reviews we may get that are our area of research, right? Is it clear to you?
Yes.
So once we have gone through, review literature, the next you have already, while going through these literature review, you have find some question. Now you have to look at the data sets. So what if, for example, you are interested, liver cancer. So one of the major repository that you can, query. So if I just go through the NCBI in journal, so here we just need to type liver cancer. So for example, we are interested in treatment, right? So these are only the two keywords that right now I am using. So now let's look at and make a query for this. Although we did, okay. So now if you look at this interface, what you are getting nearly geo dataset, nearly 10,000 geo datasets available with your this specific query, right? Then for the under the even the clinical trial, if you go through the but a different studies are done that are still in a clinical trial, or they have cleared those phases, you can go through that as well. So apart from that, there must be SRA data. If you look at, we can also directly go to the SRA. So let me just go over first geo. So let me click here. So we have already gone through from here. So now you can, you can select different, you can make or create different filters. For example, so first, if you're interested in only Homo sapiens, so you can select that particular organism. So you might get large number because I have already actually applied a criteria here. So then you can go through this study type. If you go to the study type, just click on customize. So from here, the next, which kind of data that you are interested, right? For example, right now I am interested in only RNA expression data, right? So I can set different filters like, expression by profiling by array is microarray. So you can select all those. So I have right now already selected this expression profiling by high throughput sequencing, as right now I am taking one example which which involves high throughput sequencing, right? So then you can go to the show. So like here, you just need to click on that selected criteria. For example, so does any one of you able to create this query and able to get 171 data sets?
We are listening to you. Just give me a few seconds.
Okay, I think you must perform hands-on so that it will help you. This is our last session.
Yeah, because going along with you is difficult. We miss the concepts. So
Okay.
listening to you.
Okay, so that is not an issue. So next we have already select, I have already selected this particular, and then I set this particular filter, right? Expression profiling by high throughput sequencing. So like now, right now I'm come up with nearly 117 data sets, which are actually easy to analyze. I mean, if I have even gone through these data sets, then I can actually look at which data set might contain my kind of questions, right? So then you can actually, like, first is single cell analysis. Right now, I'm not interested in that. If you are interested in that, for here, if even just looking, another thing that you can do, at the top, you will get this option sort by. So you can select whether default order, like I'm selecting from high to low. So here I will get the first entry which have maximum number of the sample. So like this is a single cell analysis, single cell genomics data. So then I can find which data, I mean, which study I'm interested, right? So I can either I just look at the title, I will get some idea. If I want, I mean, I'm more, I'm interested to know more, I'm more detail, right? So then what I can do, then I can select that particular data set. For example, this one I'm just selecting, rather I have already selected one data set. Let me, not this one, okay, this one. So this is GSC ID. I'm sharing in the chat box. Like I have already find some data set, right? I have already clicked some data set. So you can actually look into the different data set which might be useful for you. So type of your research interest. So how I can query with this GSC ID? So one way, if we have already geo, you can just right. So for example, here I got this data set which one study, development and application. Okay, yes, development and application of transcriptomic signature for the bioactivation in the advanced in vitro liver model to reduce drug-induced liver injury risk early in the pharmaceutical pipeline. So for example, I'm interested in this study. So now let's look at what this study is about. If you want to go through, complete paper, you can read that paper and find out exactly what they have done and how they try to address. Meanwhile, you can look at just a summary. In summary, usually they have defined or give an overview. Like here, they have like translation of NRF1 and NRF2 mediated liver tissue biomarker to an in vitro assay using advanced micropattern co-culture with this particular cell with the primary hepatocytes from male Wistar Hanover rats as well as humans. So then we will also get the overall design. I mean, exactly which from where they have taken the sample. So this is kind of rat and human cells and hepatocyte from various sources without treatment and with treated sample, right? So this is kind of the drug treated they have taken and at different time points. So this is kind of from the overall study, we will get some idea. And if you want to understand complete study, here under the citation, you will get complete publication. Now about the data sets. If you look at here, so here they have kind of 3 types of different data sets. So that first data set they have from the mice, the second from the rat, the third from the Homo sapiens. So if you just go to the
Harpreet,
Mhm.
Which is the significance of the numbers of the sample, GSM, for example,
Mhm.
and the number.
So these are the GSM ID. These are the platform files. These are sample ID, and GSC is complete series ID for the complete data set. So this is the GSC ID. So now let's how we can actually find directly, can perform various kind of analysis. One way, usually when someone submit their data on the geo, in the supplementary, they usually already provide kind of already processed data. So already that is we need not to process, like from raw reads to produce a gene expression table, we need not to do that. Or many of times in Geo, usually under the supplementary file, you will get that kind of data, right? So for example, right now I am interested in human samples only. So what we can do, we can take this is GSC human hepatopac underscore treatment tar gzip file. So if you click on the HTTP, so you will able to download this particular file, right? So if you are interested in human models or rat, you can take those samples, right? So right now I am interested on only human hepatitis treatment sample. So I have already downloaded this data. So when I have downloaded, let me just show you what it contains. So this was the data set. So my screen is visible to you. You can also download these data set and look at exactly what they contain. So it already have, two types of files. One is count values, the another one have FPKM values. So if I can show you this data, let me just paste this data in the Excel. This is TXT file. Let me just paste it in Excel. Okay. Like I have taken FPKM values, right? So here only ID is missing. So look at this data, what it contains. So here in the rows, we have ensemble ID for the genes, while in the columns, we have samples. Now you don't know, right now they have just given some ID, right? Like US dot 1421005. So from this, although you have table, but you can't make your question still because you have no idea what are these samples. So especially clinical and demographic information, where we get that information. So let me just again go over this platform. So here under the download family, you will find this file, series matrix file. If you download this particular file, so I have already downloaded this file. So this is series matrix file, where you will get the clinical and demographic features of these samples, right? So if you just click on this, so even under the series matrix, now you will find like, there are 6-7 files. So which file we need to download, right? So the next question, now look at this data that we had. So we have human samples. Now look at which platform belong to the human, right? So here GPL 1679 in this case, because there are different organisms are involved. So if there are only human samples, in that case you don't have such confusion. But today, whatever the data set I just look at, by the way, it has like 3 kind of organism. So that's why we have there multiple kind of GSC series file. So to get exactly, if you look at these files, but they contain some GSC IDs common between among all the data sets, but this GPL ID is varying. So the data set that we are taking, that is human sample. So now look at which GPL belong to the Homo sapiens. So here 16791. So what we need to do, 167, this is 16791. So you can download this particular file, right? So once we have downloaded this file, as I have already done that, so let me just, okay, so this is what a series matrix file. Now if you open this file, let me just copy this file and paste it in Excel just to show you what it contains. Okay, so let me just paste it here. Now, if you go through this file, it is like it contains a lot of things, right? So, especially, let me just make it bit bigger. With the sample, you will get, sample ID, like this is GSM ID. This is sample ID from the geo. But we have those IDs, if you remember, that is US something, right? So if you go through that and just look at that, where you get. So here is sample description, right? So this is what where we will get, you just get this ID somewhere, sometimes they write, after the sample ID. So you have to search these of this particular file, I mean, to find out different characteristics and belong to which category. Now, under the specially sample characteristics column, so in the row where you will find this sample characteristics, usually it contains clinical and the phenotype information of the patients. For example, let me just show you just one. If you look at here, we will get like, these are Homo sapiens sample, then their donor ID, then under the sample characteristics. First, they have given the gender, then whether a particular sample is treated or not, then the dose, how much dose is given, then the time point. So at different time points, they have given this, then what the tissue. So these are like important. If I'm looking at this column, what I can do, I can take these important columns to make my research question, right? So I have already extracted these important columns. Okay, here. So like these are important columns. We have this ID, then we have this treated or untreated information. So now we can actually ask our question based on the information that we have. Like if I am interested in treated or the untreated sample, so I can actually provide those ID, but I have to match these ID with my samples. So like this is the ID here. Now I can look into this particular file. Where is this ID? Like here, right? So you have to then find those ID that you have to match those IDs. So right now, as I'm not going to, I mean, exactly, I'm like, you can address this question like treated versus untreated, or, at different time point or different dose kind of these, from this data, you can make different questions, right? Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you?
Yes.
So once we have,
we are talking about just liver carcinoma.
no, you can search anything. I mean, I'm just talking.
No, but
I'm just giving. Yeah.
Your example, all samples are from liver carcinoma.
Yeah, this is from the liver, obviously from the hepatocyte. So you can actually search any questions. I mean, depending upon you might have a breast cancer, then apart from you might have Alzheimer kind of questions. So depending upon, you can search that question. I have just taken one example with the liver cancer, right? So because that is my research interest, somehow I'm more interested in that part. So like my PhD is always on liver cancer, so I was always searching at different angles for that. So depending upon your research interest, you can actually make similar kind of, analyze. I mean, you can find similar kind of data sets and perform different analysis. Goal here, my goal is show you how you can actually to search a data set, as well as then you can perform various kind of analysis on that data set beside the geo. So let me just go over again that platform. First, let me just show you the how we can find even different data set here. Even this is the same data, right? So for example, you are not interested their data, right? Like you want to your own perform own analysis to generate your own gene expression table. So that is the gene expression table that this particular, research group have provided us. Based on, then they have also explained each and everything. So where you will get that explanation, for example, this, if you click on, not on this. For example, these are samples, right? Let me just search for Homo sapien samples. I'm just taking one example. Okay, so there are human samples. So if I just click on this one sample, and you will get, how they process this data. So under the data processing, they will explain complete pipeline, like what against which genome alignment, how they perform genome alignment, gene quantification, which algorithm they have used. Then FPKM was normalized and applied to the RNA-seq count values. So log scale transformation is done. So this is how they done. So they have applied log 10. So you will get complete information how they process their data. So there two kind of data is available, count values and FPKM value. This is complete explanation you will get under the data processing option, right?
Harpreet, can you repeat how can we process this location?
Okay.
Thank you.
So you just need to click on one sample, right? Here, under the sample, if you click on only any of the sample,
Okay.
right? If you click on any of that sample, you will get this complete information, how they process this particular data, right?
Excuse
it
me,
cl-
Harpreet. And the name of the gene, where I can get the name of the gene in the
So
column.
right now, I think we should go step by step, right? This is how you can obtain your data set. This is the one way. The other way, if you want to obtain, raw sequencing data under the relations. See, I'm just going on this geodata. So under the relation, you will get these links like bioproject, then for SRA, right? So let's go over SRA. For this study, how we can take a data from the SRA. So under here relation, you will get the links to the other databases like bioproject, like SRA. So I am just going to the SRA. So from here, what you need to do, you need not to download complete FASTQ files, especially if you want to perform analysis on TabInfo server. I'm just giving that example. Otherwise, if you know performing any analysis on your own system or on your own server, in that case, you might need all the FASTQ files. Here, what we need to do, just go to the, as we just on this particular interface, if you go to the send to option, just select file, then instead of the summary, just select second option, that is run info. So what we will get, we will now create a file. Right? So like we able to obtain SRA run table. So let me just open this SRA run table. Okay. So we can copy this. Let me just show you this table. As we are interested in only human sample, so you can actually, like from here, you can apply a filter. Then based on the organism, we can select that. Let me just check where they have provided that information about organism. I think here might have provided. Okay, so yeah, here. Ratus. So kind of here, from here we can actually filter out. Like I'm not interested mice only, I'm interested on only in Homo sapiens. So you can select that and reject other. Now you can copy this. Okay. So now we can copy it into another file. So I'm for the example, just to show you how we can upload this table. So I will might be take 4 or 5 samples. So I will show you later how we can upload this particular, let me, I think, upload this SRA run table. Like I'm just taking with the 5 samples. Right, let me just. Oh. So this is like with the example, we were able to create this SRA run table. Now we need to do analysis with this table. We can generate gene expression table with this particular table, right? Complete table depending upon, you know, what kind of analysis that you are interested to perform. So I will use this table in a 10 minutes. Before that, let's go over the data that we already had from the GU, right? With this, we can generate our gene expression table directly after running the RNA-seq pipeline, but that pipeline will take a time depending upon how many sample you are giving. Like if you're giving 10 sample, it might take 1 day. If you're giving 100 sample, it might take, you know, 10 to 20 days to generate gene expression table. So as I don't want to waste this much time, because I know already I have a data which is already FPKM value and read count values. So I had this. Okay. So here we have FPKM values, right? So these are the FPKM values. The first thing, whenever you have a data, so you can perform some of data manipulations, like you can remove all those genes which having 0 value. Before that, even you must add, you know, exactly which this sample belong to. Right now, I am not caring whether it's a treatment sample or untreated sample, but depending upon your question, you can do that, right? So then you have to do that. I mean, you have to do that. So now what we can do, first, let me remove all those genes which have 0 values. So how we can do that? Let me just, I can remove this column.
Excuse me, Harpreet, I must leave in 2 minutes. Is it, are you going to talk about the project, how to do the project, or
What
when
to
to
do?
present it? We do require to present a project, or is your conference?
We need to process these data sets, like these are FPKM values. So, right, so I am just removing those genes which have like 0 values, right? We can filter out those genes. So how we can do it in R as well as in Excel as well. So right now, let me just show you in Excel only. So how we can do that? If you just do the sum, right? Sum. So then B1 to what is this? Oh, sorry, B2, as this is the second row, and A till AQ2, that is this second last column. So
It would be BQ2.
oh yeah, no, I'm taking this column.
But you have taken B2, that means second row.
No, that's just AQ2. That's why I'm taking AQ2. B is a column. If you look at which is B column, first column
understood.
contains gene IDs from the second column.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So now what we just need to click on the side and it will compute for all. The next what we can do, just apply filter here, right? Just apply filter. So now we can remove all those values which contain only 0, which have, if you sum, sum of all the values 0 means this particular gene have 0 value across all the samples. So we can filter out that directly, right? So now what we can do, now let's copy this. Beside, you can even sort these values. So you can perform various kind of things on this data.
Harpreet, you are working on count data or FPKM data?
This is FPKM data. We can use count data directly for the, to perform DSEQ.
Okay.
So right now I'm to understand what are different patterns in this data, because right now I don't have idea even, right? Like I have just checked this data 5 minutes before the session. So I was interested to know what kind of patterns might it represent, right? So how
Yeah.
we can check that patterns, if you remember, how we can check patterns within our data?
Applying PC1.
Exactly, PCA. So that is whenever you have, any numeric values in your data, first thing you must do, like I have already, let me just paste it in txt. So, okay, so I need to remove this particular, no, I think I have done something wrong here. Okay. So let me just copy it from here. I think it's taking. So I'm just taking not all the genes. So I'm taking like 100. You can take, I mean, just to show you, right?
Right.
So I'm not taking all the genes. So I'm taking like 1000 genes, something like that. So not much, just to show you how you can take complete genes, right? So right now I'm just taking.
Hybrid will require a server.
You require what?
Maybe we should require a server for processing data.
Yes, we require to process data. That is the one of most important step, because
But we require a server.
No. This is not SRA data. If you remember, this particular data set I have obtained from Geo.
Okay.
This is directly we have gene, or this kind of gene expression table we will get after we run RNA-seq pipeline, our own self. So the SRA run table I will go after a 10 minutes. The data that we have obtained from SRA run table. Right now, the data that we have obtained Geo as a supplementary files. Remember, before showing the SRA, I have shown you how you can take data from Geo, which are supplementary files, right? Which contain read count value. One data set have read count values, the other have FPKM value, right?
Excuse me, and how do we know if the database is too big?
This is how do we know?
Yes.
How do we know? Exactly, what's your question? I am not getting your question.
How we can see if the data is too big?
Too weak?
Too big.
I am exactly not getting your question, sorry.
Okay.
So can you type in the chat box? Maybe something is not clear to me. Can you type your question in chat box?
We don't require server to work with the processing of data.
Your voice is not clear to me, Sylvia.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, that is why I'm saying, can you type just in a chat box?
Haripreet,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
have followed all your steps,
Mm-hmm.
but my data set is having some new other values which are consisting of e to the power of minus 11, e to the power of minus 12, wherein
So
I can't find it.
Have you taken the FPKM value or read count values?
It's FPKM value only.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me just, this is the FPKM values, right? So let me just paste it again. Have you done, okay, obviously you must have downloaded the same data.
Yes.
So let me just, okay, just give me a second, right?
Yeah.
So let me just paste it again. You have taken FPKM value, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Then
Okay, so might be I had by mistake, I just copied maybe read count value. Let me just look at that. Yeah. So maybe just by mistake, I copied that.
yes.
So, okay,
yes.
so again, just what we need to do, we just need to do sum. Again, here's the sum. Then we just need to define from which column we are taking summation till AQ2. So then we can just do that. And now we can just apply filter here. Okay. So now after applying the filter, what we can filter out completely the all the samples which containing 0 values, right? So
Okay.
once we have this, now you can actually take, it will take a bit time because it is getting filter out those values. Meanwhile, what other thing we can do, we can also do, minimum values, like might be there is only 1 or 2 values, so we can filter out those minimum values. So I'm just filtering out some of the values. I mean that you can, keep that criteria yourself. So for example, we have this data. So now I can take, sorry, I have to write ID here. No, Sylvia, I think another questions, I think Sylvia Rudina had. Sylvia, yeah. Your question was, do we require server for data analysis? You not always require server for data analysis. You can run any of those analysis on, R or, Python as well.
Thank you, Harpreet.
Okay. So it is not a must, like especially for the raw reads, it is better you must have some server because it is very difficult. Even a single file is like 10 GB or something like that. So on your system, that is difficult to handle that data. Right, once we have this gene expression data. So for example, right now I'm taking, like you can go with, top 500 or something. It means you can go with the complete data, right? Now, just to show you an example, I'm just going with like top 500 samples, something like that, right? So I'm just pasting it in another Excel. So now I can copy this, and as if you remember, on a T-Bioinfo server, we need txt file. So I'm saving this file, save as example FPKM file. So I am just saving this in the download. So I am saving this as example liver cancer. Okay, so now if you are on server, so T-Bioinfo server, if you're able to log into this, now where you can go, just click on utility. You can take even a complete file, that is not creating any issue. So file upload. So under the file upload, are you on this server or not? Just let me know.
Yeah,
Who
just a
have all.
minute.
Okay, so I can wait for a minute.
2 minutes.
Okay. So you just need to,
filtering the data.
so utility section, then you just need to save this data in the txt. Make sure your data must be in txt,
Okay.
right? Sorry, I don't know why uploaded 2 files. Create utility option again. I'm just doing this. Okay, so let's go to continue. Start. Then the next step, that is quantile normalization. So if you are here, as this is the FPKM value, first what we need to do, we have to perform log scale transformation. So keep ln as true, and here we can select some threshold like 5 threshold. So we can filter out those values that are those genes which having actually value below 5. So we can select a particular threshold. So then just perform PCA. Here we need not to perform no, so I'm taking all the by default options, right? So then we can end this pipeline. So this is the with the first data set. That is, we have, where we have FPKM value. Now you with the FPKM value, you can also perform hierarchical clustering, you can perform factor regression analysis, a different analysis that you can perform on FPKM data, but normalized data.
Okay.
Right? So this is one kind of, let me just example, write it as example, liver cancer PCA. So that is after you have get the log scale transformation, right? Quantile normalized data. So those are analysis run once you have, already have your analysis. So you can perform various kind of exploratory data analysis.
Harpreet, for this we need to perform quantile normalization. So
Exactly.
when we upload
log scale transformation, or we are performing log scale as well as quantile normalization.
Okay. Then we can perform PCA or any type of cluster.
Yeah, exactly. Hierarchical clustering or something. You can perform any kind of analysis with this data. TSNE, PCA, or PCR library, box plot. So those are different things.
Can I ask you, log transformation and quantile normalization, is it the same?
No. Log scale transformation is the first one way to transform, but quantile normalization, when you are actually, that is most recommended when you are dealing with multiple data sets, especially, or apart from quantile normalization, there is G-score normalization also, especially when you are performing, a machine learning analysis. So in that case, log scale transformation is only the first step. After that, you perform quantile normalization.
Excuse me, but after log transformation, I can do PCA, right?
I have also performed quantile normalization where I have kept that select that threshold 5. So yeah, I mean, you can run PCA. That is not an issue because PCA you can run even on, that is read count value. So that is not an issue. It will just show you the pattern. But when you are developing a, machine learning models, or you are performing statistical analysis, in that case, you must normalize your data.
Harpreet, I am unable to access the server. Under utilities, it is showing me only demo utilities PCA.
No. You are clicking on the, let me just again show you. What you need to do, you just need to click on utility, not side, on the side. You just need to click on utility.
Okay, yes.
Are you able to do that?
Yes, for file upload, it is asking for SVL, HTTP, FTP files.
No. Let me just show you. I mean, again, I can show you. If you just click on utility, here under the file upload, first option, add files.
Okay.
Right? Here you can upload your TXT file. Is it clear to you?
Yes.
So are you able to do that? Once you do that, your file get completed, click on continue. Then you can start.
If it shows 100%, that means it is uploaded.
Yes, exactly. So then you need to click on continue, then start.
Okay.
Once you're able to do start, then you go to the quantile normalization. Here, the first step is log scale transformation. So I'm clicking it, ln, transform table to ln. Second threshold. So as now after log scale transformation, we don't have, very large scale. So we can select based on the 5, or you can select a particular threshold. 5 is kind of ideal threshold. 5 or 10. So especially from here, I'm just selecting the default options. So then you can click on end, right? Once you do that, so I'm canceling it because it doesn't require. So I can go to my pipelines. So here my pipeline already completed. So once we have this, here we will get first a zip folder which contain of course these two files. If you look at these two files, the one is already normalized data only, that is quantile normalized. So you can use this particular file for any other analysis. You just make sure two things. For example, if I download this particular file, so you can use this data, normalized data. Here, whenever you're running any pipeline on T-Bindfo server, there must be ID, small or capital, and there should not be any blank line at end of the table. If you look at this file, here you will get this blank line. You need to remove that and then save this, and now you can use this for any analysis, right? But that is normalized data. But these are the PCA results. Let me download this. And if you just download these results, some is not actually, this is not part of that, okay. But I forget to remove this. But when you running a particular analysis, make sure you are only considering important columns. So here, based on the first component, which contribute nearly 57%. So before that, I can remove this component, this, because I just by default, by chance took this, and this is not required. So based on first component and the second component, first component contribute nearly 58%, while the second component nearly 5%. So what we can do, we can plot PCA using these two components. So how we can plot that? If you take these components, the first and the second column, and just go to the insert, then plot a scatter plot. So this kind of plot we will get after with this particular samples. So then you can analyze which kind of patterns it looks like these are some, it makes some patterns here, right? So you can actually look at different patterns. Right now, maybe it is not representing the right thing, but you can always, analyze your data. This is making one kind of one group here, the second group here. Then if you look at, this is kind of another group, right? So then it looks like another group is here, right? So then you can actually understand which these sample belong to which class, right? So then you can and that information that you can obtain from series file, right? If let me just show you that file which has series information, then you can actually assign which sample belong to which class. Here I had, right. So you can actually look at and then assign classes to these particular samples, right?
Okay.
So then you can actually, how you can do that? If already you know that, then you can actually, then you go to the selector data, and then you can analyze which sample belong to which class of sample, right? So this is how you can actually go for any analysis. This is the first PCA analysis. I mean, in this case, I have taken only the 500 genes. So you usually run PCA with all the important genes, right? Important in terms of after removing zero values. So just to show you, I have taken this example, right? Okay. Is it clear? Once you have data, this is the first kind of data which have FPKM value. The other data that we have, that is like, read count values. Let me just go to that data as well. I think I had already filtered out genes or samples for that. Yeah, this was read count data, right? What we can do, we can take this data and save into a file. So here you must have two kind of groups. Now I'm just making, groups randomly. I'm not going exactly which sample it belongs to. I will take them as a random, right? So once you have the classes exactly, which is treated one or untreated one, or time at the time different time points of, you can make your data, sample classes accordingly, right? So right now, just to show how we can run differential gene expression analysis, I'm just taking this data set as it is. So this is for the DSEC analysis. So make sure if you are running a DSEC2 or HR algorithm, for that you require read count values, not FPKM. But on FPKM, you can apply t-test, right? T-test, that is Welch t-test. If you have unpaired samples, if you have paired sample, then you can apply Wilcoxon. So those kind of information you should have, which kind of test you can apply on which kind of data, right? So I'm taking example, this is DSEC liver cancer. So once we save this file, read count values. So let me just make sure another thing here. So now if you go over the platform here, so under here the differential expression, if you click on this, here you just need to provide one input file. So even at here, you find this note, please note it is recommended to upload the expression in raw read count values. So we need read count values, particularly to perform differential gene expression analysis. So once you do that, just upload your data. So here I am uploading this DSEC liver2, which contain read count values. Then we can go to the group selection. Right now it is getting uploaded. So now we can actually make two groups. So right now I'm just making randomly groups. So if you already know that which sample belong to which class, so you can actually create, right now I'm just to run this analysis, I am just making these groups randomly. But you should be clear, treated versus untreated class, or time points, for example, less than 4 hours treatment versus more than 4 hours treatment. So you can make all those kind of in comparison. Depending upon what information you have, you can also compare, different gender, like male versus female. So you can perform a different kind of analysis. Oh God, I have already taken all the samples.
If we don't have groups, then?
But you usually have, when you actually running any, taking any data from, public repository, you must have, then you can't perform differential. So what are you comparing? So
Okay.
you should have that information. The analysis question, like cancer normal, for example, you have cancer normal sample, right? Then you can make your group as cancer or normal. If you are waiting like early or late stage, you can consider like stage 1 or stage 2 as early, or stage 3 or stage 4 as late stage, right? So depending upon exactly how you want to perform analysis, you can create your groups, right? Whatever the information that we have, just to show that how we can actually create groups, we should have this information. Otherwise, so I right now just I'm taking, because it is difficult for me to complete that table, but I'm just.
Can I just
Yes.
you got from the table read.
Mhm.
What kind of reads did you use for DSEC?
Which kind of read? These are read count values, which we have usually must be obtained after running HT-seq and HiSeq. These are not raw sequencing reads. That is not raw sequencing read. This data is already processed through a RNA-seq pipeline. But then, for the mapping, like they might have used HiSeq, and then to quantify, they might have used HT-seq. So then they will obtain read count values. If you have run like Botai 2T, then you have that is for the mapping. Then to quantify, you have run RSCM. So then you will get your value in terms of FPKM or the RPKM values. So
Were they
once we have that,
these were FPKM.
yes, because they have pair and reads.
Exactly.
So now you can choose any of these algorithms like DSEC, 2. So here we need to define what we want to filter out. So for example, you want to filter out those values which contain one value at least. Then the significance p value, we can set 5.05. So p, if you remember, p value is must, especially when you're comparing differential gene expression analysis, right? So then you can actually select log fold chains and automatically database, as here we are only taking human sample. So then to identify important pathways, gene enrichment or go terms, we can select threshold here as well. So right now I'm taking by default, right? Let me just making 0.05. So like DSEC, it might take a bit time. So I'm not sure that. Meanwhile, what I can show you, I mean, that is how we can perform. Then you can perform various kind of analysis, hierarchical clustering. This is the one way that how we can obtain RIN DSEC. The another, if you remember, how we can upload SRA run table and to run our, gene this data. If you remember this SRA run table, yes, not this one. Okay. So here we have these pair and read. So what we can do, we can take this value. This is SRA run table. Now here our aim is to produce a gene expression table from raw sequencing read. So I'm not taking all the samples. I'm just to show you how we can upload SRA run table. I'm just taking 5 samples, right? So if you have this, just this is called SRA run table. Now we can copy this into the txt file and save this as liver cancer SRA run table example. So this is when we have SRA data, right? Data from SRA run table. So what we can do now, if you are on this platform, here under the RNA-seq parallel analysis of NGS and the microarray data, here you need to define, like, these are pair and reads. We have FASTQ NGS format, and because we already have human genome, so we are using GRCH, this human genome. Type of reference genome, already this genome is available on our server. If it is not available, in that case, you need to upload your organism file as well. Right now, I'm choosing R model genome GTF. Why? Because we have already this genome on our server. This particular genome is available, right? Then format of NGS data, FASTQ file, especially at SRA, there are FASTQ files are available. Then we have to select whether our reads are single end or pair end. As if I was looking at this run table, this is where you will get this information, library layout, they are pair end. So these are the pair end. Then organism, Homo sapien GR chromosome, that is 38. So then we go to the file upload here. Under the NCBI run table, here you can upload directly that small table that we have just produced. This is liver cancer SRA run table. Right? So once we done that, then you can go to the group selection. So if we are not interested to perform differential gene expression analysis with this data right now, you can cancel it. Then just start. For example, here you just want, this is the pre-processing step like PCR clean, then PCR PCR clean is done to remove PCR duplicates, then Trimomatic is done to remove adapters. Then next we can directly perform Butai 2T. So that is once you have cleaned these, next map on a reference genome or reference transcriptome. Here as we want to generate gene expression table, so I'm using this particular algorithm to map reads on a reference transcriptome. Then if I'm interested to generate then quantify gene expression, from here you can select, FPKM value or RPKM or expected count. So we will do that and end this pipeline. So it will take maybe a 1 day or some 4-5 hours. So RNA seq liver cancer. Here you will get a gene expression table in the form of FPKM values, right? So this is, you can done this particular analysis. So if you want to generate read count, in that case, what you have to do, especially Lydia for you. So we have to select high set after the PCR clean and chemomatic high set. Then you can generate directly quantify gene expression HT-sec instead of these two steps, right? We just need to change the steps and we can end our pipeline. So my DSEC pipeline already completed. Let's look at what output that we have obtained. So especially let me just show you this table. This is very important because you have many of times you asked how we know which is differential expression gene and how we can find important genes, right? So this was the questions most of times you have. So let me just paste this particular result in a Excel. So now here we have, let me just highlight this column. In the first column, we have genes name or gene ID, right? Not gene ID, right? So then we have this, this column, because this is gene IDs. Then we have this log2 fold chains. And third one is P adjusted value. So these are three very important columns. So let me just, the kind of condition that I have selected, let me just select a filter. Others was the gene expression table. So these are important columns. So the P value for usually for us 2 samples. When you are actually doing a multiple testing, you have multiple large number of samples. In literature, P adjusted value is used. Either it is also known as FDR. So you can select
it
FDR.
is FD. Okay.
FDR, that is false discovery rate, right?
Okay.
So then you can actually select, I mean, if you remember, smallest to largest. So now you can actually find out important, genes that have significant p-value less than 0.05, and you can select only those genes. For example, in this case, if I'm looking at p adjusted value less than 0.05, so, okay. So till here. So now I like, till this column, I can mark it right green. So like nearly 526 genes that found to be significant differentially expressed in these 2 classes that I have selected. That was although random, but that is what we have obtained. Like out of, this is like already total genes like nearly 1000. Out of 1000, I am still able to filter out these important genes. Is it clear to you now?
So if the genes have less P adjusted value, those are considered
more
as
significant. More significant. And the significant cutoff that is considered in literature, that is less than 0.05. Okay. So this is how we can filter out our genes. Then you can actually, which gene is upregulated and downregulated, that is based on the log2 fold chains. So if you have got positive fold chains, that means a particular gene is upregulated in condition 2 in comparison to the condition 1, or group 2 in comparison to the group 1. Then I have to look at which one my group 1 or group 2, right? So if this is log2 fold chains is negative, it indicates that is down-regulated gene, right? This is how you can find out important genes. So that is one of important very important analysis. So apart from that, you will also get like this is volcano plot. It looks like blank because might be not important genes involved in a pathway or something. In terms of log to 4 chains, that's why we get a blank. Otherwise, you will get a, because here we only took like 100 genes or 1000 genes. So that is why we are not able to obtain the result. But when you have original, like 20,000 genes, then in that case you will get these kind of all the plots, right?
Okay.
Okay, so these are some of the analysis. Once how you obtain a data set from public repository, and then what kind of different analysis you can perform. This is just one demonstration. Now let me just share with you this form with you.
Okay.
Meanwhile, so especially if you want to further want to do research project with Pine Biotech, so right, so this is the form that you need to submit. So if you're interested to you want to do your own project, so for this what you need to do, you need to fill this form. But the most important information that you need to fill, apart from this is the basic your information, this is the project title, right? So you once you have gone through some review literature, then you find out some question. Just write project title. Under the problem statement, define exactly what question you are actually going to address and how you are going to. Under the project summary, there define what is your hypothesis and what are the methodology that you can employ or you can explore or utilize, and then what is your expected outcome. Then here you need to provide some of, like when you are searching for your research project, you must go through some of the data sets. Like today I have shown you for one question, so you, depending upon your research query, then you can find out more, even a one data set, even more than one data set. If then you can also, you need to find reference publications for that. Is it clear?
Yes.
So this form you must fill. And if you want to do any research project further, so there are some of the things that you need to do, but especially if you're interested to from transcriptomics analysis, so these are the courses I was looking at. Most of you have not completed except Rudina. She's completed many of these courses. So especially transcriptomics 1 is about how you can generate a gene expression table from raw sequencing read. Transcriptomics 2 is about how you can how you process your data, like log scale transformation, normalization, then what are different statistical approaches. Like DSEC I have already shown you. Beside t-test, how you can apply t-test in Excel, then in R as well. So then this transcriptomics 3 is about applying machine learning on your data. So I think you already have a lot of time. I mean, at least 1 week you still have. If you want to understand all these analysis, must complete these courses, right? Transcriptomics 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining today's session.
Haripreet, till how many days we'll have access to the server?
So if you have not extended your license, in that case you have 1 more week. So if you want to extend your license and extend the license, and you have to pay something, I guess more, then you can extend it even for 1 month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you everyone for joining today's session. And I hope next time I will find your research project in the next session. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.